Well, here's today's event. I just got a security box for PRIMOS proof cam put on a tree, lag bolted. And here's the pipe that I painted. Boy, the 50-mile ride scarred it up, but that's okay. It is what it is. But this is the pipe that I painted. I cut it off 5 foot. Took a 6-foot T-post and left it 5 foot out of the ground. Slid my pipe over. Took my drill and drilled 2 holes on either side of the T-post. This is number 9 wire, which is a booger to weed through there, bend, and push it back through. But I got it tight. I had it in the back of the truck. Number 11 would probably work better, but number 9 is definitely stronger. And the reason that I done this is the way that it is on this ground, it kind of leans. So I've got it wired on the right side at the top, and then at the bottom I've got it wired, pushed through, wrapped around the post on the bottom, and that gets my post straight. And see, the pipe ain't flopping around, because there will be 300 and 400 pound hogs rubbing up against that post, and I just wanted it to be secure. Now, this particular spot, I ain't got a very wide shooting lane, and I really didn't want to get 2 foot from a pine tree, because them squirrels and coons will probably be Geronimoing over here to this. But this is the game winner 40-pound feeder. Now, it did come with some slits in there to drain the water. That's good. And I do like this screw-on lid, so it holds one 40-pound sack of corn, or it will hold a 50-pound sack minus 10 pounds, which is what I'm going to do. It's hard to do this, but that lid fits snug as a rug. It just goes on there and then twist, and it's on there. And then it comes with the strap. It's got a pretty good little old clip, and you just get it where you want it and cinch it tight. And I've got it 37.5 inches to the mouth, which is fine. And I just mounted my security box on this tree, and it's 22 yards from that feeder, which is all right. What I did, that's a 1/2 inch head. That's a 1/2 inch head, and this one's 2 inches, and that one's a 2.5, and 3 inch, because I ain't got it all the way up to the tree because my angle will be wrong. So I put the longest bolt up top, then the next smallest, and the next, and then that's a piece of penetrated 2x4 cut as a wedge. And then when it's angled, I needed it angled down a little bit, so I've got it wedged, and that was the only one I brought with me. So I just took a stick and put it on the backside, and that secured it. But what you got to keep in mind when you're doing it at an angle, and I've got this about 6 foot off the ground. That's why I angle it that way. It gets it out of the deer's sight. I've had deer, I run videos, all I have since I've started. And bucks, if they look at that head level, they're gone. They leave at a run. But if you put it above their normal field of vision, and I'd read an article on that, and I have no idea where I read it. But when you go to lag bolting this in, you want to do, I brought a drill bit, and I got it where I wanted, and I pre-drilled, put it down, and then I just run the drill bit all the way in. And then I went to bolting, and you bolt them evenly, and your bottom want to be snug But you want to keep it, you want to keep checking and making sure this goes, because you can get this tweaked. You can tweak one of your bolts and get that whole thing to bend a little bit, and then your cover won't slide down. I had to back off a little bit. Now, one of them Brinks security, no shanked padlocks, 25/64 for Brinks, and that'll give you plenty of clearance to do it, because it's a no shank. It'd be hard to cut, and plus they're quiet. If that hole's bigger before daylight, because I'll get all my SD cards at the stand I'm hunting, and then I'll get in there with my Wild Games Innovations SD card reader, and I'll check and see what all the activity is. But 25/64 for a Brinks. Master Lock is a little bit bigger, so I just got my 25/64 bit, and it just barely takes any more metal off, but that cleared it up. So that's what I just done there. I ain't got the camera yet. I'm gonna get it next week. I'm getting 2 of them, but I'm just getting that done. So I ain't got to do it all in one day, and I needed to do this wiring, because without fail, I always forget to bring the number 9 wire. But yeah, I like that setup to 37.5 inches. And so that's 22 yards to that camera. And I'm probably going to get a Generation 1 PRIMOS Proof Cam. Generation 2 Camera 1, which is 80 feet. So that'll be more than Apple. I seen them on the Amazon the other day for $59 Prime, free 2-day shipping. Alright, I'm just seeing how that feeder works. Oh, I ain't got no good trees for them to scrape on, so I wired me a limb last year, and I just hang me a scent dripper from it. So I kind of made me a scent limb, and of course, this oak limb right here, it's blossomed this spring. I think that one right there would be perfect, but I think it's going to be out of view of my camera, which that one was too. But this is the MOULTRIE 6-gallon, 40-pound feeder. And I've got it 37 inches off the ground. Same scenario, 6-foot T-post. Put it a foot in the ground, and then just put this 5-foot piece of pipe. And then I number 9 wired it behind the T-post at the top and at the bottom. Got it level. So it's pretty stationary. They may wobble it a little bit. There will be hogs, but I took me a 3/16 drill bit, and I drilled some more holes. I had two little, I don't know if you can see it. I had 2 little old pinholes way back up in here that wasn't even wallered out very good. That ain't gonna, you get a kernel of corn on that, it ain't gonna seep no water worth it. So I just did some more 3/16 holes. I did 4 new ones, and then I re-drilled out the ones that come on there. But that's got to have some seep holes, blowing rain like this. And then that's about 17 yards to this feeder. But that is what I've been working on today. It ain't too hot. We've had a cool front or something blow through and kind of cooled things off. I think it was 67 last night, which was pretty nice. Boy, them deer come out right underneath this tree. I've caught there's my wire for my hog snares. I've caught 2 or 3 hogs on this very tree, but I've got them all took up. This ain't hog time of year. This is the PRIMOS Generation 2, and it's got 100-foot night range, but I don't really need 100 foot, and it's 17 yards to that feeder, which this is where I've done the Charlie B, and I've had the first buck of the year and a doe nibbling around. Oh, that reminds me, I need to get that bush over there and take it back to town and ask one of my buddies what kind of little plant that is that they like to mow on. But anyway, that's today's event. I got to walk about 1.5 miles from here to the other spot and just do the pipe and put the wire the pipe and put the security box over there. But anyway, that's today's event, and I'm curious to see how the deer eat out of this MOULTRIE 6-gallon feeder versus what the MOULTRIE or whatever that Game Innovations or blah. See, that's MOULTRIE. I'm curious to see how the deer will eat out of this. But this is Game Winner. This was $29.99 at Academy. And it's just 40 pounds, but I really like the screw-on lid, and I like how it comes down and curves out, which is similar to the Redneck T-post feeder, but it holds 80 pounds of corn, and it's a even heavier duty plastic than this. This plastic is heavier duty than the MOULTRIE. But here in a couple of 2 or 3 weeks, a month or whatever, probably about 3rd week of September, I'll have deer coming through here on camera, and we'll be able to see which feeder they eat out of the best. But that one's $29.99, and this one was $19.99, and it's kind of a flimsy plastic. So I would recommend, for $10 more, I'd get that other one, the Game Winner, instead of this one, because the lid just kind of sits on there. It's kind of molded, and you've got to fight to get it on. You got to fight to get it off. You know, it ain't really nothing to get it. Now, I know it rained 1 inch last Sunday, so it come a storm, and it didn't blow off. But I just like the Game Winner's twist-on lid. And it's only $10 more, and I think it's a heavier gauge plastic, and it's got that little neck. I think it'd be easier for a buck to get his head, because you get a buck here, he's with any size rack, his horns are gonna be getting it. I just think the other would be better as far as the cheap route. But the Redneck T-post feeder was $69.99 plus free shipping straight from redneckblinds.com. So it's about double. Plus you can hold the double amount of corn, but I want to experiment and just see what these little old other feeders do, just for the knowledge to have it. But anyway, I got to get booking to my next stand. But you can see how I have this. Now this one's been on this tree 4 or 5 years. You use penetrated 2x4 and just cut you a little old wedge. And that wedge has been there probably 5 years, and it's penetrated, so it ain't rotted yet. And I did let out on these 2 bolts the other day, just a little bit, so I could angle it down a little bit more. But if you put it in an oak tree, you're either going to break your ratchet or you're going to twist the head off of that thing. If you put it in an oak and it stays in there, any length of time, that tree will grow around and make it around that bolt, and then it's history. But anyway, till the next event.